And just because I cooked it doesn't mean I'm gonna give a good review. Hey guys! Hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you're in the world. Today we're gonna be eating jjajangmyeon, black bean paste noodles. This is a fusion food. Actually, the original noodles were from China. It's said that Chinese immigrants in Korea opened up restaurants where they served jjajangmyeon. The recipe from China's Shandong region was altered to suit the Korean taste bud. Thus, jjajangmyeon was born. You might be wondering, why are my noodles like a gray-brown? They're supposed to be white! Well, that's because I'm using different noodles. I made a healthier version of jjajangmyeon. And this particular one is Vietnamese brown rice noodles with seaweed. Low sodium, gluten-free. It was about $5. Tasty and stir-fry soup and salad. What is this shadowy, dark area about? We have vegetables. We have Korean radish and zucchini, and I also put garlic in there, but I didn't chop up the garlic because, you know, sometimes it's nice to have the garlic chopped up, but other times I just like to have it as a whole. We also have some pieces of pork in there, not too much meat. I wanted to eat more veggies. Oh, and then of course we have the chunjang sauce. That's the black bean paste. And as a garnish we have cucumber. And in the noodle section, right on the upper shelf, I saw this, seaweed crisps. And I was so curious about what it tastes like. Seaweed, and then the other side is brown rice chips. So Jekyll and Hyde. Let me give you guys a close look. Oops, it dried up. They're sticking together, they're holding hands. I put olive oil on that so that they don't get sticky, but I guess I needed to put more oil on it. Actually, jjajangmyeon is not the most first date friendly food, and I don't recommend wearing white when you eat jjajangmyeon, but I'm wearing my MUKBANG uniform. It's not that like I tried to make the white tank top into a uniform, but it just happened. Typically it gets hot when I film mukbang because I have these lights on me, so I just like to wear a tank top, stay cool. Oh yeah, it's happening. Slowly but surely. Shall we take our first bite? And just because I cooked it doesn't mean I'm gonna give a good review. The sauce is in the bottom, so I gotta mix the noodles up more with it. So that first bite was on the bland side. So let's get some of the zucchini, radish, and maybe some pork in there as well. A spoonful of it to, you know, bring the flavor up a notch. That black bean paste, that flavor was soaked into the veggies. So every bite of the brown rice noodles you have, you gotta have a spoonful of this. So this is called jjajangmyeon, and myeon means noodles. We also have jjajangpap, which means you take this sauce and you pour it over rice instead of noodle. You know, in Korea, in Seoul, you could also have jjajangmyeon delivered to your house. There's a lot of other foods that they deliver to your house, but jjajangmyeon is like one of the top 10 or even top 5 dishes that people order to deliver. My cheeks feel like a very inflated balloon right now. Does it look like it? Sometimes what feels and what looks is not always equal. Some people cut the veggies into smaller cubes. Other people, or like in my case, I made them bigger. I like to pick at them one by one and have a bite full of it, instead of like having the pieces all like, you know, too much mixed together that I can't tell them apart. I like having the idea of putting cucumber as a garnish because the cucumbers are not cooked, so they bring a freshness to this dish. And usually people put sugar into the sauce. I didn't put any additional sugar, and yet it was so sweet. So if you have that sauce and the pieces of veggies just as is, it's a bit on the sweet side. You know, I like to have more savory food in my mouth. Well, unless if it's a dessert, I want it to be sweet, of course. You know, some businesses, they put like bacon in their ice cream, or like, you know, they bring a savoriness to the dessert. I think it's fun to try once, but generally speaking, I like my dessert sweet and my food on the savory side. I had a piece of pork there. That particular pork was a little dry. And some pieces are more juicy. I put 4 servings of these noodles on this plate. So it's actually quite a bit of calories. And let's see. Let me look at this box. 4 servings per container. And each serving is 216 calories. Okay, I know you guys are good at math out there. What is that? 864 calories if I eat the whole thing just for the noodles. The next time I make this, I will put more oil onto the noodles right after I put them through the strainer. Because I don't like when the noodles break apart. You know, I like it when I pull on the noodles and then they just come right out and it's like a long, you know, long, unbreakable entity. It makes me sad when the noodles break apart so easily. We didn't try garlic yet. Not overly soft. Because sometimes when the garlic gets too like cooked, and then you try to pick it up, it just comes apart like, you know, it loosens up too much. But this is like a good amount of softness, so when you pick it up, it maintains its integrity, but when you bite into it, it's like flowing between the teeth. Now let's do some more mixing. Oh, if you guys are curious about my recipe, guess what? I made a blog post. I haven't blogged in a while. But, oh no, it fell on the ground. Oh man. Oh no, I fell on the carpet in my Korean mat. Oh no. Usually, you know, I use a toilet paper, but I ran out of toilet paper. So instead, I wipe my butt with paper towel these days. Until I restock up on my toilet paper. But I don't flush it because it's thicker than my normal toilet paper. If I flush it, then, well, it'll clog my toilet. So this is my mat that I sit on. And I got some of the Jjajangmyeon sauce on there. Thankfully it didn't get on my white tank top. What are we talking about? So I'm making a blog post for this recipe, and I'll put the link in the description box. when you eat this noodle dish, oftentimes your lips, it will become dark color. So always have, see? Always have your napkin ready. But if your jjajangmyeon is really good, then you could just, you know, go like this and then let it dry. And later at nighttime when you get hungry and you want a midnight snack but you don't want to eat too much, you just lick your lip like that. Just as a way to inspire good dreams. As you might be able to hear, there's some crunchiness. And this crunchiness comes from the cucumbers. Actually, when I was cooking this, and when I was plating it, I was like, doesn't look like too much food. But now that I'm eating it, I'm like, wow. I might have eaten already half a portion of what I normally eat, or even more than that. But I keep eating and it's like, the food is not disappearing right now. Okay, note to self. Next time I make this, I will make more sauce. Actually, when I was cooking this, I thought that I made more than enough sauce, but I guess over time the water evaporated. I'm curious about this. I'll give you a closer look. The seaweed crisps with brown rice. I mean, it looks oily, but when you put your finger on it, you see little bits of salt, but not much oiliness. I'll give you a super close-up look of one. That's actually tasty. There's gotta be some sugar in it. There's something sweet. Ah, yes. Sugar, salt, yeast extract, brown rice, seaweed, canola, oil, water, sesame oil, salt, oleo resin, rosemary. That's the info on the back. Oh, and it's made by CJ. CJ is a Korean company. They own a bunch of different foods and entertainment. This is, I really like this. Wow. You know, it's quite thin, and yet the crunch is powerful. Actually, the sound is hypnotizing me. It's too mesmerizing. Alright, let's go back to Jjajangmyeon land. The noodles are quite chewy. Another garlic. Next time I make this, I'll put even more garlic. 2 weeks ago, I was eating raw garlic every day. And my mom, she was like, Mina, you ate garlic, huh? She was like, yeah, you're radiating like this garlicky aura constantly. And I'm like, Mom, I wasn't even talking to you. How can you smell it? You know, it's not like garlicness is coming out of my mouth. When you eat certain foods, like whether you sweat or you're just being yourself, that food radiates out. So last week, I was quite angsty. You know, I felt like I really wanted to rant. So I had a mini rant in the previous mukbang. Typically, when I work a lot on a computer and I don't have much like outside time or like time in the physical world, I get in this like weird mood. This like I stare at the computer too much and now my brain cells are fried kind of mood. And then I space out a lot. I become like a zombie almost. And then I walk somewhere, I'm like, oh, why am I in the kitchen? I was supposed to go to the bathroom. When that happens to me, it's a sign. I'm like, oh, I need to take care of my body. I need to take care of my mind. Keep my sanity. I just bit myself. I don't know why I like the taste of my own blood. And when I bite myself and it bleeds, I just suck on it. Adds another layer of flavor. One that you cannot even buy from the store. Last week I had a flood of negative emotions just charging towards me. I'm not sure what the source is. I kept trying to figure it out, but it felt like running around in circles. I just didn't know. I think it was just an accumulation of things. You know, I tried to make my life simple as possible and minimal. You know, sometimes you can never find out the source of why you're truly angry. You know, sometimes like time passes and then in retrospect you realize, oh, that's why I was angry, or like that's why I was sad. That particular bite didn't have much sauce on there. I don't know what it is. Something about noodles. Even if it's plain, it tastes good. You know, that's one question I don't know the answer to. Why does even plain noodle taste good? Like, you know the tteokbokki? The Korean rice cakes? When I was a kid, I used to love eating the rice cakes plain, without any of the sauce on there. And then even with soba noodles, sometimes I just like to eat it plain without any additional dip. Oh, I'm getting full. Whew. It was a little maddening when I couldn't figure out why am I feeling so negative and thinking negative thoughts. So instead, what I started to do was replace those negative thoughts with a positive one. Think of something else that puts a smile on your face. Think of something like even a simple joke, or look at memes, and then when you think about that, your mood, it lightens up. So, but to be honest, I think it could get a little dangerous chasing after happiness. Every time I question, am I happy? Am I happy? Then I start counting things that I don't have. Because I'm trying to make reasons for why I should be happy, right? I'm happier when I'm counting my blessings, things that I have. You know, I've taken yoga classes, did guided meditation, which I still do daily. And then also read books on spirituality. And what do they all have in common? Well, they have a number of things that they have in common, but one of the things is they always say, think in abundance. Because if we keep counting the things we don't have, that list is quite long. You know, if we think like, oh, I don't have $1 million. Oh, I don't have a brother. Oh, I don't have a sister. Or, oh, I have too many brothers. Oh, I have too many sisters. Like, if you count negative things, it's just gonna bring your mood down constantly and go down this rabbit hole into this abyss. And no one wants to do that. No one wants to be there. But to have that light, peaceful feeling, you gotta put a little bit of work into it. Now, I feel that some people, certain character traits, they're just born with, and they naturally think in a certain way. But also, environment plays a part. Because when I was traveling in different countries, every city I went to, it brought out a different side of me, a different lifestyle. You know, in Bangkok, I love walking around, and every time you walk around, you're learning something new. Because the streets are filled with people, and there's like food everywhere, and just like so much life. But here in my hometown, I go walk outside, there's not much going on. So automatically I walk less when I'm back in my hometown. And in doing that, it changed my lifestyle. So another reason that I like walking in Bangkok is they have a lot of tall buildings. So I could walk on the side of the street where it's shady, so the sun doesn't keep hitting my face. And then, because the thing is, I wear glasses all the time, so I get like weird suntan. Actually, another place I enjoy walking around is San Francisco. However, in San Francisco, there's a lot of homelessness. It's quite bad, actually. There's a very big gap between the rich and poor in San Francisco. You have these people living in $1 million and up to even $2 million and up houses. And right outside on the street level could be a homeless person walking around. In certain streets, you won't feel too comfortable walking around even at daytime. I'm really full now. I mean, I pushed the noodles to the middle so it looks like I didn't eat much, but when it's all to the side, I think I ate like 1/3 or half. Woo! I don't want to overeat, because when I overeat, I get really uncomfortable, and sometimes I can't fall asleep at night. I try to film my mukbang videos for lunchtime, because then I have about 10 hours maybe to digest until I go to bed. And as I film this, it's almost 8 p.m. I should save some for my mom because it's so tasty. This is hypnotic. Before I end this video, I wanted to show you guys something. I was cleaning up my closet and I found this box. It's wood, and I painted this when I was in 4th grade. So over 20 years ago. And on the front, see? It says, by Mina. There's a seahorse, an owl on a tree sticker, and on the top is a bunny. Snowy the rabbit. Snowy is a pet rabbit I used to have. He was 7 years old when he passed away. A Sanrio character, I forget his name. And then here's another Sanrio character. Now let's open it. I used to love hibiscus when I was like in 4th, 5th grade. And then, ooh, what's inside? I didn't really look at it actually. Not yet. You know the sparklies? I put those in myself. See, there are holes, and then you put glue, and then you put the rhinestone on there. And then here's like a pilgrim lady, and then more pins, rosin for my cello. I used to play cello. Now, nothing super interesting, nothing rated R that it's gonna make you want to keep watching me unload the contents of this. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for joining me and trying out my first homemade jjajangmyeon. Actually, I've made instant jjajangmyeon before, where it's like all pre-packaged. This one I made nearly from scratch. Okay, my jjajangmyeon wants to say bye, and then one more crisp. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Miss Mina for delicious selfies. I like to play this game where you find my face in food. I'll see you guys in the next mukbang and travel video. Bye bye!